Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
You are listening to the TrekRanks Podcast, a member of the TrekCore Transmissions Podcast Network. This is episode 63, featuring the top 5 costumes. Welcome, Star Trek fans. I am Jim Morehouse, and I'm the host of the TrekRanks Podcast. And tonight, it's chaotic. We got a whole room full of people at STLV. It's another TrekRanks Roundtable, our second year in a row. We did the Mount Rushmore.
Mount Trushbanks.
I knew that was coming. Last year, we did our Mount Rushmore picks with a lot of the same crew here. But tonight, we're doing one that fits perfectly for Star Trek Las Vegas, STLV. It's our top 5 costumes, something on the mind of everyone this week. So we are live in Las Vegas, and joining us tonight is Claire Little, Alexander Perry,
hello,
Ken Reilly from TrekCore, Adam Drosin, Mr. Jordan Hoffman, former official podcast host for Star Trek. And we have a studio audience, including Lyrian McGregor and Jamie McGregor. Jamie's been on the show before. We're going to get Larry on at some point. They traveled a long way to be here. There's going to be some other people showing up, too, I'm pretty sure, at some point during...
If he can get off the craps table.
Yeah, he's on the... I don't know what that was.
Ladies and
all right.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
We are starting with our TrekRanks recalibration.
What are you recalibrating?
Everything. It's a sweeping, a recalibration of all systems.
As regular listeners will know, TrekRanks is a podcast about all the reasons that we love Star Trek. We don't argue, we don't nitpick, we just pick all the things that we love about Star Trek.
Infinite diversity.
In infinite combinations.
And as the Vulcan Master just reminded us, our mantra here at TrekRanks is no wrong answers. We love it all, from TOS to TNG, straight through to Enterprise, and the Kelvin timeline and Discovery as well.
And the animated series.
And the animated series. Sure, Jordan. It's all fair game here on the TrekRanks Podcast.
Black alert. Black alert.
And a quick reminder that Discovery spoilers are always in play here, so we are current through Season 2 of Discovery. And one more reminder, we use the term episodes as a shorthand. All the films are always in play as well, so all 13 films.
And short treks.
And short treks!
Yeah.
Of course. I just count those as Discovery.
And trailers. I added trailers.
And trailers, yeah. I think the trailer ones. All right. You can find TrekRanks on the interface links at TrekRanks.com. You can contact me directly at TrekRanks or at Enterprise Extra.
Yes.
You can also call and leave us a message with your own picks at 609-512-LLAP.
South Jersey.
That's 609-512-5527. Is that really South Jersey?
609.
South Jersey sector? I had no
Wildwood,
idea.
New Jersey, Vineland, New Jersey, Atlantic City.
TrekRanks New Jersey. It's a beta quadrant.
Hey, TrekRanks New Jersey is North Jersey. 201 area code, okay? Essex County. No, I like to go to the shore. 609.
We're going to count that as our diagnostic cycle. We don't need one tonight. So we're jumping straight into our prime directives to figure out how everyone narrowed down their picks.
I do not concur with your captain's decision.
She's following our prime directive.
Define prime directive.
Prime directives. We're going to start with Claire Little. What was your prime directive for narrowing down your list?
I wanted to stick with just garments, so not prosthetic makeup. And I also just want to talk about all the costumes that I want to complain or love on with someone else if I'm sitting at home watching an episode by myself.
I love it. Okay. More studio audience is rolling in as we speak. Josh Duffy, former guest. Okay. Ken Reilly, what is your prime directive?
Mine was kind of all over the place. Some of my costumes are plot points. Some of my costumes are in-universe costumes where characters are wearing clothing or other apparel that they're not usually wearing. Okay. And there's one or two deep cuts in there. So
All right, we love deep cuts at TrekRanks. Adam Drosin.
Yeah, I picked stuff that like makes me happy, and like when it shows up on screen, I'm just like, oh, hell yeah. Or stuff like that I also like would want to cosplay. So those are my criteria.
That's pretty good. Jordan, how about you, sir?
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you or any of the listeners. I became a Star Trek fan when I was like 13, 14 years old. These are the costumes that excited me as a young lad.
A formative experience, you might say.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be crude. I'm not going to be lewd. I'm not going to be crass, but I am going to be honest.
We might have some duplicate pics. Alexander Perry.
I wish I had a sophisticated answer for you. I'm afraid it was just there's so many costumes to choose from. There were 5 that came into my mind, and once they were there, I could not shake them, and so those are my 5.
Okay, I had a comprehensive Prime directive. I decided to not do any Starfleet uniforms or like major uniforms. We're probably going to do top 5 uniforms later, so I'm going to save that. I also stayed away from any kind of costume that was more like a makeup, like the Borg or the Hirogen or Tosk. That felt more like a makeup for me. And I stayed away from any regular. I wanted to do like one-off costumes, so nothing that was like in it over and over again. I also tried to find 5 different costume designers for all my picks, but that didn't actually work out. And I wanted to have at least one wacky alien species, which I do have. So I think everyone will appreciate that pick. All right, let's jump into the order of things.
I am a Jem'Hadar. He is a Vorta. It is the order of things.
Thank you, Third Romaticon. You are doing great work. All right, this is going to be one of those a little bit different. We're going to all kind of chime in with our pick if there's a duplicate right off the bat. So, as normal, we will do our 5 words and a hashtag to tease our pick. Then we'll reveal our top 5 costume. And as we do on Trek Ranks, we are each going to pick one episode that we think really defines that work. And at the end, we'll ask for a few secondary system selections for any potential picks that just missed our list. So if we have any duplicates, we will hear the Defiant Torpedoes, but we'll also probably try and talk about those at the time of the pick. Okay. This is the most people we've ever had on Trek Ranks. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 6 people making picks, so this is going to be awesome. We're going to keep it going. It's going to be like a speed round.
I hope everybody's got 3 hours of free time.
Yes. Actually, before we go, I'm going to highlight really quick so everyone has it in their head all the major costume designers for Star Trek. Just a little 101. So William Worthies, of course, is the main TOS and TNG Season 1 costume designer. Bob Fletcher was one of the main TOS movie costume designers. He did, we won't talk about who he did, because those might come up in the picks. For the other movies, we had Bob Blackman for Generations, Deborah Everton for First Contact, Sonia Milkovic-Hayes for both Insurrection and Star Trek Beyond, Bob Ringwood did Nemesis, Michael Kaplan was a big part of the Kelvin timeline.
Genius.
And, as Adam says, genius. And then Dorinda Rice Wood was Season 2 of TNG. Gersha Phillips, of course, for Discovery. And, of course, Bob Blackman for everything else. And I will say, Bob Blackman fitted my uniform when I was on Star Trek. And it was the coolest thing ever. He literally came in and did it.
So. Who had 5 minutes in?
Yes, 5 minutes. Okay, let's do it. Claire Little, what's your number 5 pick?
Number 5.
Okay, my number 5 pick are some costumes that stuck in my head, but I couldn't even remember the episode that they were in because that's how distracting the costumes were. It's Time and Again, which is, my 5 words are, yikes, it's only episode 4. Hashtag ill-fitting corsets for everyone.
Everybody knows what this is.
Yeah, okay.
From Voyager.
Yes, from Voyager. So they go down to this planet. I don't know what the planet's name is. I don't care. Everyone's wearing these like mustard yellow
it's like
and
candy
pea
corn.
green. Yeah, it's very like 70s colors.
Right.
And everyone,
short sleeves,
children, old men, women, everyone's wearing these like ill-fitting corsets over their like underclothes, but the corsets have the same patterning and coloring as the underclothes, so like you kind of see them, but you kind of don't. From behind, Tom Paris looks really odd in a corset. I'll just tell you that. Some people look okay in them because they tend to be the women, but it is completely bizarre. No one ever mentions it. Again, it's episode 4. You shouldn't be out of costume ideas this early.
I don't remember the corsets at all,
it.
but now that you're saying it, it's popping in my head. I would think of the candy corn.
I saw someone cosplay this today.
Oh, no way!
Today.
I wish I'd seen it.
That was a perfect way to start this off today.
Oh,
like not an hour ago I saw it. Love it.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Great pick.
But I'll tell you, candy corn is the perfect example. Not the regular candy corn, it's that chocolate candy corn
Yeah,
with the bottom
it's the autumn colors, like
That's
darker autumn colors.
The variant,
That's right. It's like pumpkin spice candy corn.
Yeah.
Alright, fantastic. Ken, what is your number 5 pick?
Alright, my number 5, my 5 words are finally a decent Trek sweater, #Android Apparel. It's Timothy's data sweater from Hero Worship. Yes. So the kid looked up in the replicator, I guess, or somebody got it for him. A yellow sweater, black shoulders, doing his whole Android get-up, and he's not Starfleet, but he fits right in.
Love it.
That is a deep, deep cut, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I actually rank Hero Worship pretty high on Trek Ranks. I think it's an underrated episode.
Totally
but I never
agree.
really noticed that. He's wearing a sweater that looks like the uniform.
Our helpful studio audience has brought a visual aid.
It's got the black at the top.
Yes.
That's
right.
And then he gets the hair slicked back.
That's
so
right.
Just like him.
That's like the kind of thing you can imagine seeing online at at some department store for like $500, and it's like, oh, I guess some designer was watching Star Trek this week.
That's right. You see that uniform at Creation's Cherry Hill Star Trek event.
Yeah, that's good.
They're in the 609 area code.
That's right.
Philly suburbs, yeah.
All right, Adam, what's your number 5 pick?
All right, well, as deep Trek Ranks listeners know, I like to pick stuff that gets a rise out of Jim, and this is one of our mutual favorite episodes, 5 words and a #, like a Turkish Christmas ornament, # Second Wives Club. From the TNG episode Unification, it is Perrin!
Perrin.
We're talking Perrin.
Second wife.
Love it. She's very weird. I love Unification. This is where Soup Brown comes from, or soup comes from.
Yes.
She has so many line readings that are just like imprinted in my head, like mint tea, and like he didn't even say goodbye to his father. He'll either see you or he won't. Like, she makes such an impression. Yeah, hell yeah, Alex. She makes such an impression in such a short amount of time, and her clothes are insane. It's so much. It's like there's the phrase "a hat on a hat." This is like 5 hats on 10 hats. I love it. Like
it's like she's competing with Amanda. Like that human bitch got all the Vulcan. I'm gonna put even more Vulcan on.
Yeah, years have passed. I'm gonna take it 5 steps further.
Perrin in the Second Wives Club from Unification. Brilliant pick from Adam. All right, Jordan.
All right,
number 5 pick.
All right, number 5. Yeah, all right. Women. Wait, 1, 2. That's 4. All right, I gotta add another word. Okay.
It was
only 4 words. Now it's 5. Okay. Women wearing some truffula trees.
Yes.
Bones' holiday dream.
Yes.
We're talking shore leave. We're talking the end. Bones is dead. He died. But on this planet, it doesn't really matter. It's a little confusing. And then he shows up again, back from the dead, and he's not like, oh, what a weird experience being reanimated from the black abyss of non-existence. He's like, hey, take a look at these 2 cocktail waitresses from Rigel 2. And they're wearing, like...
Tribbles.
Tribbles? Are they tribbles?
They're like Day-Glow Tribbles.
Yeah, Day-Glow Tribbles. Well, the truffle... we know what the truffle tree is.
Yeah, from the Lorax.
From the Lorax.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a very, very erudite group. So,
I did not pick up on that.
They're wearing the truffle trees on their... And
So we're saying it's a thneed?
Yeah, I guess it's a theme. And the gals, I don't even think they have a line. They just giggle. It is a sexist moment. I don't approve. But I saw it at the age of 13, and it was like, first of all, I like the colors, man. And second of all, Bones McCoy had a big smile. Hey, Jim, I was just with these girls from Rigel too.
And he was dead.
And he was undead.
Just coming back.
So it's a curious moment, and it's my number 5 pick.
That is a genius pick. I did consider it. Alex, what's your number 5 pick?
5-word summary. 2 decades of refinement pays off. Hashtag best thing about the movie, ? I am picking the Romulan uniforms from Star Trek Nemesis.
Streamlined.
Which are the 3rd iteration of the Romulan uniforms. Obviously, in the Next Generation, you start off with those boxy silver get-ups. Then in Deep Space Nine, it gets a little sleeker. They go a little more black. And then for Nemesis, they pull out this amazing fabric it's multicolored, but it looks perfectly in lineage with the Romulan uniforms. But it is by far the best version, and it then comes back again in Enterprise. During the Romulan episodes there, Admiral Valdor's wearing that uniform, including, and it was worn by a gentleman who was here at the convention today, and who I might add, I'm convinced, was high as balls, Mr. Brian Thompson, who participated in what I have to say is one of the most awkward guest panels I've ever been at STLV. So there was no way this wasn't going to be on my list.
It was a very awkward panel for those of you following us on Twitter during STLV when you hear this. Yes, that is fantastic. Did those? They didn't have the
The belt?
Like a chest belt.
They had
like the suspender,
the seat belt.
They did have a seat belt, but it was not as the whole costume is not as like over the top as the.
I saw
TNG.
Romulan today, TNG standards.
Oh, he was
outstanding.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Spot on.
And the seatbelt suspenders were.
He had tripled up on the shoulder pads, and that was just the right
It
amount
was like,
of shoulder
and
pad.
he had the right, the
perfect 90-degree angle shoulders.
Early '90s hotel bedspread material is what I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say that.
I got ASMR just from hearing you say that.
All right, we're gonna close out round 5. My pick. I am gonna put it up on the screen for everybody.
You know, this is a radio show, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut that out.
No, you're not.
Wait, we have to describe ours?
No,
but
this is the only one I was gonna put up.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, I can see why you didn't want to describe that.
Alright, I said in my Prime Directive that I was gonna have one wacky alien pick,
my
and
Lord.
this is it. 5 words and a hashtag. 4th and goal for the Bomar. Hashtag 3 yards and a cloud of dust. The episode is the Raven. It's the Bomar from the Raven, and they basically have like football masks on their faces with like wire. And they've got it's an odd rectangle shape.
Have a catcher's mask.
And it's more of a catcher's mask.
It's like the umpire's gear in the back.
Yeah,
They actually were the world's most incompetent beekeepers.
They look like the world's most incompetent beekeepers. Yes, they do, and it is more of a catcher's mask.
It's like the
but it's ridiculous,
Medusa
and I love
goggles.
it, and it stands out. And I picked the Bomar.
Is that mask made out of black zip ties?
It's like wire.
Okay,
it's like
it looks
wire
like
frame.
it's made out of a bunch.
But it's
It
also
is
the pattern on that shirt. I mean, it almost looks like a swastika. I mean, it's really bold.
Did not notice that. There's a bunch of Voyager aliens like this. There's the species like 6339 with the light up plastic transparent raincoats. So there's a whole bunch.
You can tell when it's getting to the end of the season, they're just cleaning up Bob Backman's closet. What scraps you have left, just staple them together.
I had to do one wacky alien. Okay, round 4. Claire, you are up.
All right, 5 words. Stardust wants his jumpsuit back. Hashtag shiny purple ain't scary. I'm going with the Zendi reptilian outfit.
Yes.
Which,
It's good.
once you notice how like Ziggy Stardust it looks, it's really hard to take those guys seriously with like they've got it's this shiny metallic purple. I think it's very similar to the material that Shinzon's
it's the same costumes.
Okay.
It's the same costumes.
Is it the same
Yes,
costumes?
the same
I actually
costumes.
looked at Shinzon's costumes to see if it
the
was.
Reman costumes and the Zindi reptilians are the same
That's
costumes.
right. Okay, I looked at Shinzon's and not the other Remans. But yeah, with the then I'll take them both. But either way, it's they're not scary. They're just, it's like they were on their way to like a weird German disco or something. And then they were like, or we can try and do some planet-wide genocide. Like, whatever you want to do with your Friday night. It's cool. They're cool costumes. They just don't fit the Cindy at all.
It's amazing how well they can move in those things with those wire cages.
I mean, they're really impressive costumes. They just don't make sense.
Yes,
I've seen some people dress as
and they're great.
here, and they look amazing.
The change from the Remans to the Reptilians was they added the shoulder
shoulders.
cages and they removed the Reman symbols.
And honestly, the shoulder cages just emphasize how kind of flamboyant the costumes are.
It's like an exoskeleton.
Yeah, with like collar, with like a really popped collar. It's weird.
I mean, they're not just going to conquer; they're going to conquer with style.
Exactly.
They're gonna really,
Yeah.
That's right.
Designed by like Helmut Lang.
Right.
All right, Ken, what's your number 4 pick?
All right, my number 4, not as exciting, but still interesting, I think. My 5 words are, he's as good as gold. Hashtag yellow belly. It's Admiral Todman, the only gold shirt admiral.
Oh, yes!
That from DS9's The Die is Cast.
Yes.
He's based, I believe, at Starbase 11, because you got the old matte painting from the original series behind him. And he's the only time we see anybody from Next Generation forward wearing a gold Starfleet uniform, and is an admiral. I believe he's Starfleet Security.
He's Starfleet Security.
There we go.
That is a lovely deep cut pick. I love it.
It's a good one.
I know exactly. I can picture it right in my head. Admiral Todman.
That's
the
right.
Die is Cast.
And the first time you watch it, because the lighting, it's like it's almost as though the scene is shot at sunset. And
Yeah,
so
it's the golden hour. For the golden shirt.
right. But it almost looks like it's red, but no, it is very much a yellow Starfleet Admiral's uniform.
If they're on a starbase, it's not really sunset, though.
True.
But it's kind of impressive that the costume department actually was
It's a
willing
ground-based
to...
Starbase.
Oh, okay. all right.
Starbase 11 from the original series.
Oh, yes.
Like that the costume department actually was like, yeah, we have time to make this weird one-off Admiral uniform instead of having you take one of the 25 different ones we already have in storage that you can just wear.
Yep, that's right.
All right, Adam, what's your number 4 pick?
My number 4 pick is the simplest costume on my list. It's a personal favorite. It's an emotional favorite. And I dedicate it to my friend Alex Perry right here. 5 words and a hashtag. Jammies fit for an admiral. Hashtag Q-tip don't quit. I'm talking Admiral Janeway's pajamas from Endgame.
I love that costume.
So good. God damn. First of all, what like energy and like class she brings to like Admiral Janeway. And then I love the quick scene of her with Picardo, who's now named, remind me, what's his name that he picked for himself?
It took you 23 years to come up with Joe?
Joe.
Yeah.
That's thank you very much. Joe comes to visit Admiral Janeway and to give her a final send-off before she goes on her mission to end the series. And there's this great... it's probably my most used screenshot from TrekCore where she goes like... like she just kind of like shrugs at him with the pajamas, and it's like, it's everything I want out of life. So, number 4, Admiral Janeway's jammies.
With authority, she wears those.
Yeah.
No doubt, genius.
You think she's wearing little slippers, too, at the same time?
Absolutely. 100%.
And they're just amazing color.
Soft.
It's like violet, right?
Violet,
Yes.
soft violet. You could tell it was comfortable.
Yes.
All right, Jordan. What's your number 4?
All right. This is sort of a classic. I mean, it's a classic, but in keeping with, again, reviewing, and they're all but one are, basically making me sound like a dirty old man. But here we go. 5 words and a hashtag. Basically, partial nudity robo-gal from the hashtag Corby medical practice. How are we going to get out of this without talking about Andrea, right?
Andrea, yeah.
It's not going to happen. So Andrea is... from what I remember reading when William Ware Tice created it, thought they were not going to get away with it, and was stunned that the standards and practices allowed it, because it's showing a lot of skin, but it's also an interesting design. It's a cantilevered dress or shirt or whatever the heck you want to call it, and the colors are beautiful, deep blue and purple, and she wears it well. And it's one of the iconic women of Star Trek.
And we have our first duplicates because, of course, I picked Andrea as well.
Is she your number 4?
5 words. She's my number 4 pick.
Wow.
Well, she is now. We're gonna adjust my. Truth be told, she was my number 1 pick. I'll save a number 1 for later. So 5 words in the hashtag. The original iconic Trek Android hashtag. Overalls cover little. What are little girls made of? And it's Andrea. And what else can you say? The Cherry Jackson looks amazing in it. I'm going to give a shout out to Ruck too because he's got the big cape and the high collar. Looks like it's like pink and purple. It's amazing. So all the androids in whatever.
I mean, that episode is pretty good. I mean, you got like bottomless pits. You got. Rock.
Penis Rock.
I was gonna say, I think that's the Penis Rock.
I mean, the Penis Rock is amazing. I, for many years, had the Penis Rock as my
Twitter.
Back when I had it there too, yeah. But also, it was a screensaver back when we had screensavers, right?
Oh.
And I remember my wife, who was now my wife, but she was my girlfriend at the time, and she liked Star Trek, and it still does, but she wasn't, obsessed. And she saw that, and she was like, well, this is a joke, right? This didn't actually happen. I'm like, no, that image is real. And it's amazing. A lot got slipped in, if you'll forgive. A lot got slipped in to that episode, and it's remarkable work. But it's also really good,
It's a great design. It's William Worthy's. It's genius.
She's absolutely, just stunning. And I got to give a big shout-out to Dr. Corby, whoever the actor is that plays Corby, that shiny-faced creep, where he's just like, oh, Christine, of course, it's just like, wow, what a creep, I love it, it's such a weird episode, the carousel that turns him into a robot, so good.
That part's really, really bananas, but also, it's I think it's the first episode that showed, relationships in Starfleet, Christine Chapel's on a 5-year mission. She's got a boyfriend. What is that like? I mean, it's something that the show didn't get into that much, really, ever. It's a good one. But that costume is even
iconic.
By today's standards, quite remarkable.
Yeah, amazing. All right, Alex, what's your number 4 pick to close out the round?
Okay, 5-word summary. She looks 10 feet tall. Hashtag, don't you bow before your emperor?
Ooh.
This is Star Trek Discovery, Season 1, Episode 12, What's Past is Prologue, and the Emperor Georgiou get-up, the full get-up, complete with cape, the gold kind of armored plate shirt that she wears. And on screen, it really does look like she's 10 feet tall. Last year at STLV, they had the Mirror Universe exhibit, and they had the actual costume, and it is at most 4.5 feet tall. At most. And, Michelle Yeoh, in addition to, kind of owning that character, really rocked that whole costume. It's a fabulous, fabulous design. You really see an emperor before you. That first shot, which actually is in The Wolf Inside, where Burnham walks out onto the bridge and there's Georgiou for the first time in the full regalia, is super, super impressive. And Gersh Phillips is a fabulous costume designer.
Brilliant pick.
Nothing but praise for it. It's great design. I think last year we saw a family dressed as Mirror Universe, where the parents were Terran guards from Discovery, and their daughter was dressed up as the Emperor with full cape and regalia.
That's right.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Emperor Georgiou is just one of the great. She's not top. She's not one of the main characters, but she's one of the great characters of current Trek. I can't wait when she's on screen. It's it's so funny and really, it's exciting stuff. She's really dominating that role. So,
all right, we are spreading it around well. Any comments from the studio audience before we move into the soup round?
Not enough Deep Space Nine, right?
All right. They're all regretting being here. Okay, soup round.
Free show.
Let's do it.
No, it's yours.
No, I just did mine.
Oh, that's
Could we
right.
do-
You
could we
duplicated
do-
with Drew.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Soup alert. Soup alert.
All right, soup round. Let's do it, Claire. What do you got?
All right, 5 words. Over the top, not really. Hashtag codpiece, and we're going with the men's outfits in Angel 1.
Yes, Angel 1.
But
Yes.
there's a reason that I picked them beyond the fact that they're fabulous and bizarre. And it's because as goofy as they are, they're perfectly parallel to all the William Ware Tice women's costumes that you saw. In fact, William Ward Tice might actually have made these because of season 1.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, which makes it even better, and I love the idea that he's sitting there trying to think of what would a planet of strong, presumably, or predominantly heterosexual women want in a subservient male population. Sorry, Bill, it's not guys dressing like that, but it is still a hilarious moment to sort of, for all the women who had to wear thneeds. We get to see Riker, looking ridiculous.
And it's great because they actually let Troy and Tasha laugh about it, so it's not so serious even in the storyline.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. And the whole thing is just, that's an episode that in some ways has aged well, in some ways really has not aged well, or it's like it's aged interestingly. It hasn't aged poorly. It's just like
it's just
bizarre.
Aged.
Yeah, and these costumes are definitely up there.
I love the 80s hair in that episode.
Oh my god, yes.
I'm going to deny it. That is my
Mistress Beata
in the 80s. Come on.
That's another thing.
Mistress Beata is as hot
the
as
strong female leader is basically just kind of a rather butch woman. It's just the whole thing is weird.
All right, continuing the soup round. Ken, what do you got?
All right, here we go. Now, 5 words: sparkles and shines in sickbay. Hashtag itsy bitsy teeny weeny. It's Geordie's dead crotch cover.
Parallels. Oh my god, you win. We don't even have. We can stop.
That is number 3, my friends.
Oh, no.
And not only is this,
you can literally see he's naked. You can
like his whole side of his...
We have to remember that we see it, and then Worf jumps to another universe, and it's even smaller. So they made 2 of them. I have nothing else to say.
I would love to know what LeVar Burton thought that morning when they were like, okay, here's your costume.
Here's your costume and here's your merkin.
Yeah, basically.
Speechless, deep cut, love it. Drosin soup round pick.
As we get into the soup round, we're getting into the picks that speak to me on a molecular level.
Wow.
Like we were warming up. These are the ones that are just like truly embedded in my soul.
Okay.
5 words in a hashtag. Silver LeMay all damn day. Hashtag kept TV Guide alive for years. Of course, what else could it be other than the silver catsuit?
Yes!
Worn by 7 of 9.
Yes!
I'll give a big shout out to the opening, the reveal of this look in the episode The Gift, which was...
and it was a gift.
It was a gift.
that sweeping crane shot from overhead.
Oh, so cool. And like there's a lot of smoke in the cargo bay for no reason other than she looks so cool. Yes. This time last year I was wearing my own version of this outfit.
You were, yes.
And you rocked it.
I gotta say, the outfit makes you feel like a badass bitch. Like thank you, Josh was a huge help, and of course our intrepid host. I couldn't have pulled it off without him. And let me say, it's an iconic outfit for good reason, and it was on TV Guide forever. And,
it really was.
Yeah.
Okay, please tell everybody your 2 7 of 9 names when you were 7 of 9 last year.
Well, see, my version of the silver catsuit, it was a latex dress in the style of the TOS dress, so I was 7 of 1966. And then that evening, it was more of a sort of 80s prom look, so I was 7 of 90210.
Right.
Now, how many broken ribs did that outfit give Jerry Ryan over?
So many.
She got it cinched. She was cinched.
Yeah.
And
that's the fact that you can see the corset underneath.
The ribbon.
It looks Borgy.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get why she had to stop wearing it, because it was physically harmful to her. But God, it was the best of her outfits.
I believe she's told stories that outfit actually made her pass out on set because she couldn't get enough oxygen.
No, it's not,
and partially because of the throat. It wasn't just like corset.
Yeah,
the
high neck. Yeah,
but she looked so good in it.
She did. It's amazing. And
what they say, beauty knows no something. There's a phrase.
No pain, no gain.
Right. There's another one. There's a phrase that they say. I don't remember what it is.
Despite all the baggage that comes with the costume, it was still a great costume. It's amazing what they did with it.
I do love there's like a quick line too that I think it's the doctor says like I designed it so that like it'll help with her regeneration.
Oh yeah,
the technobabble. Genius technobabble.
Yeah.
Yes.
It had to look like that to regenerate her.
It has to be skin tight.
All right.
She had a prescription.
All right, Jordan.
My number 3. Now I have been, I like I said, I've been doing a lot of sort of the sexy dames, and the third one is a very beautiful woman as well, but not a centerfold. I mean, this is a mature woman that I admire, and she's a great leader. And basically, my 5 words in a hashtag are: purple makes green blood boil. Hashtag she never got a name. We're talking about the Romulan commander.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this costume is also hair and makeup, and it's also Joanne Linville, I believe is her name, right?
Yes,
She is striking figure. Up until then, the Romulans had all been men. They wore dopey spaceball helmets.
Look like Spock's dad.
And look like Spock's dad. And then she shows up, and we think Spock's fallen in love with her. And why wouldn't he? She looks incredible, and the lighting, and the purple and the gray. And it's a common cosplay, and whenever I see somebody dressed as the Romulan commander, it's a high-five moment. It's very exciting for me.
Always, it's amazing. Yeah. It was definitely on my secondary systems, Romulan commander.
I think something that I was thinking about talking about Jerry Ryan and the silver catsuit definitely applies to the Romulan commander. It's not just the costume, but the way the actor wears it, and she freaking wears that outfit. And when she's like, let me slip into something more comfortable, she's so good. It's a great episode.
Yeah,
the dress she wears is pretty great too, but it's good stuff.
All right, Alex, what's your super round pick?
5 words, ties modern TNG to TOS. Hashtag that's Judge Q to you. Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 1, Encounter at Farpoint, and the Q Judge robes that appear in Encounter at Farpoint and again in the series finale, All Good Things. My 5 words is... you start the episode and you're in a different place. The aesthetic is different between The Next Generation and TOS. The uniforms look quite different. They have a different kind of styling to them, even though the color scheme is the same. And then you have this character of Q show up, and he has all these crazy costumes, which kind of build up to the Judge costume. And from that scene onwards, you're like, okay, this is still Star Trek, right? Judge Q would look just as home in a TOS episode as he does in a TNG episode. It's that perfect kind of bridge between the two, and it's just a fabulous costume, and hashtag cosplay goals.
Please do that.
Seriously.
That's iconic as it gets too, in terms of, especially for TNG.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But you're right, though. I mean, it definitely does. I mean, it looks a little bit like... One time I saw a guy dressed as Q here. He didn't do, the best job. It was a homebrew version. And I'm like, wait, is that the guy from Meteor 7 in Taste of Armageddon? I'm like, oh, no, he's actually Q. But it wasn't until I saw his not-so-great Q that I realized how close it was to that style. So, good observation.
Spoiler alert, a non-7 from a Meteor 7... Taste of Armageddon is in my secondary systems.
Oh,
they got the shoes on their heads.
The shoes on their heads.
They're amazing.
And they've got multi-legged creatures on their shoulders.
And I'd like to give a shout out to, I think, the first Judge Q figure, which was from Galoob in '88.
Yes.
TrekCore is chiming in.
And the reason why that Q figure does not have the cape and is dressed in a weird black skin suit with a hat is because they couldn't raise the price point to include fabric for a cape. Because there's a reason why that company went out of business.
Dr. Migo would never allow that.
No, he certainly would not.
Figure it out.
That's right.
I love it. All right, let's close out round 3 in the soup round. My number 3 pick, 5 words and a hashtag. Sarek's mind, but Burnham style. Hashtag white cape in the Vulcan Expeditionary Group.
Oh, yes.
And it is Burnham's white cape at her graduation in the episode Lethe from Discovery. Gersha Phillips, the designer. I love that look. It's amazing the way it flows and goes up. I love the stuff that goes up on the neck a lot. And it just looks that pop the collar.
And her hair looks great.
And her hair looks great, and the scene is dramatic. and it just stands out, and it's really stark, and I knew I was going to include it when we came up with this topic. Anybody, Lethe?
Great choice. I think we saw it cosplayed last year.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go to
Today I saw someone dressed as...
Casual Burnham.
No, Burnham and real Georgiou, not Mirror Georgiou, from the first episode.
The desert.
Those two old ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't...
They were pretty old. Come on, man. They were pretty old.
Be listening.
I thought it was fabulous.
They were wonderful.
A little more
old
seasoned.
Okay, let's go to round 2. Claire.
All right. This is a costume that I hate to love because it's not something I should like nearly as much as I do. 5 words. Keiko bringing Lisa Frank realness. Hashtag signature Bob Blackman. It is Keiko's wedding dress from Data's Day.
Yes.
Right.
Not a costume that I should like based on everything else that I like and don't like, but for some reason it totally works. It's still that shtick of like, let's take normal or contemporary clothing and make it shiny or metallic, and then it's in the future. But somehow it totally works, and she brings a pop of color to what is otherwise a room full of dress uniforms. And Rosalind Chow looks fantastic in it.
I love
iridescent.
It is so.
She looks like a. I don't know what she looks like.
It is absolutely perfect Bob Blackman. What was your hashtag you said?
Signature Bob Blackman.
Signature Bob Blackman, absolutely.
It's also the hat.
I love it.
The hat, like all of it. That episode has maybe some issues as far as like Keiko's sort of, I'm using the term Orientalism with air quotes, is kind of dialed up to 11 because she's got chopsticks in her hair, but so it's maybe a little awkward to choose to have her wear a like funky future kimono. I don't know, but the costume itself is beautiful.
The iridescent Ishikawa.
It's amazing. It stands out. I love that pick, Bob Blackman. All right, Ken.
And before we move on, I think I have no proof of this. I have not done research, but I believe it may be an homage to when Gina Major got married in the Japanese style, or they had like an Asian style wedding. You've seen that photo,
she wore something very similar. That's
I totally.
So
forgot
it may
about
be
that.
a connection to that. I don't know, but it makes sense when I say it out loud.
Yeah, the little like berries or whatever that are dangling off her head. I love it.
It's for sale.
Oh my god!
Christie's auction. It's
Alex,
still there.
There it is.
Let's chip in.
Adam, you can wear it.
Thank
Jordan,
you.
you're looking at next year's costume contest takes play, right?
Thank you.
There you go.
All right, we're doing good on time. Ken Reilly, what do you got?
All right, my number 2 pick. 5 word. That dude's like a lady. Those lying lobes is my hashtag. It's Pell's male Ferengi costume from Rules of Acquisition.
Yes, I like that.
All right, this is Quark's waiter. We find out is really a lady Ferengi breaking all the rules just because she wants to get close to our man Quark.
I actually really love this episode.
Great.
It's a goofy Ferengi episode.
By the way,
but
it has Brian Thompson in it.
Well,
yes, it does.
Yes, Chulaberry Wine.
I don't know. Does the same episode but a different costume qualify as a
duplicate? No.
Okay, well, no spoiler.
Okay, no spoiler.
I know
We'll
where we're
see.
going with this.
right. Me too.
I love that pick. That is a super deep cut.
I just love that Pell has a suitcase she keeps her fake ears in.
Yes, that's right. Specifically for the ears.
That's right.
And we have our first Ferengi pick, which I figured at some level we'd have to have a Ferengi pick somewhere.
They're so cool.
Okay, Adam, what's your round 2 pick?
My round 2 pick's really interesting. I need to give this a little bit of a preface because in any other circumstance, this would be a round 1 pick. This is the cost. Claire's making fun of me because I'm giving like the Italian finger, the pinch, the Italian pinch. So I'm like really gesturing. Let me tell you something about this pick.
This is William Worth Dice. Italian.
This is William Worth Dice. Okay, so this is the Star Trek costume I thought about more than any other Star Trek costume. Were it not for the X factor of my number 1 pick, this would be number 1. 5 words and a hashtag. Sailor in the courtroom. Hashtag the only thing I remember. I'm talking about Jamie Finney in the episode Court Martial.
Yes!
Star Trek,
Yes!
the original series.
Yes!
The daughter of the person that Kirk ostensibly killed and it is court-martialed over is dressed like a little sailor girl.
Yes, she is.
Powder blue sailor girl.
Oh my god. I think about this a lot.
I know this about you. I know this about you. This is great.
This is an insane costume. It's so age inappropriate. She's like a woman, early 20s, 19, 20. What, you guys looking at the picture?
Studio audience has Googled the photo. You should do it too right now if you're listening at home.
She's supposed to be 20, early 20s, and is dressed like a little girl. And is introduced screaming at Kirk, you killed him! You always hated him! And it's like, from the jump, it is impossible. It's like, what am I watching? Like, who is this? Like, how old is she? Like, I love it. I think about this constantly. It's the most... truly the most audacious choice made by William Laird Thies. Wow, what a costume.
And her skirt looks like when you go through a car wash.
It's a soft touch car wash.
Oh gosh.
Insane.
My hashtag was the only thing I remember because I know, like, I watched it again right before this to freshen my memory, and I remember, like, the lawyer, and he's got all the books, but, like, as that will eventually fade away, the only thing I remember is, like, what were they thinking when they smashed her? I love it. Yes, I obviously want to wear this so bad. Like, I will be wearing this at STLV 2020. Like, put your money on it. So,
what were they thinking that you would be picking it 52 years later?
Thank you.
I mean, it's an iconic outfit. I know it immediately, and I love that. Genius.
Thank you for letting me rant about this. I wish I had the venue.
Would you like to know more about the actress that played this character?
Please.
Her name was Alice Rawlings, and according to Memory Alpha, there's a Starfleet officer in an alternate reality named Alice Rawlings after this actress.
Cool.
Her other credits include the Bob Hope program.
I love
and
that.
a lot of westerns from the 60s, and then she was on the Patty Duke show, and then she kind of disappeared.
Amazing.
So
this just makes me like it even more.
All right, Jordan, what's your number 3 pick?
All right, good.
I mean,
this is
what's your number 2 pick?
My number 2 is this time. It's not a woman. It is one of our favorite iconic characters, maybe the most iconic character in Star Trek of all, but in wearing something that he only wore once. 5 words are, isn't that a shower curtain? # don't take off your glove. It's the naked time. It's Spock wearing a red God knows what, and then his idiot
It's a shower curtain.
It's a shower curtain.
Yeah.
It's wrapping paper.
His idiot co-worker takes off a glove and brings the disease back onto the ship.
Even though it's open at the bottom, so really taking off your glove isn't necessary.
It's not Star Trek's finest hour in terms of costuming, but it is branded on my brain. I think it's beautiful. A deep red, a burgundy, if you will, with little kind of gold, slivery threads.
It's basically the same fabric that Beverly Crusher gets at Farpoint Station.
Yes. Good call.
Yeah.
Except it's plastic and it's a shower curtain.
Yeah, well, it's HD.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great pick. That's our first EV suit, quote unquote, kind of EV
Intended
suit.
to be one.
Not quite. All right, Alex, what's your number 2 pick?
We're staying on theme. This one goes out to Claire. 5 words. The best of the best. # from NASA to Starfleet. I'm picking Star Trek Enterprise, Season 2, Episode 3, Minefield, and the Enterprise spacesuits.
Yes! Enterprise EV suits. Do we have one on the table?
Yes, in my hand.
Oh, it's in your hand, yes.
This is the coolest of all the spacesuits by far. It is both a logical continuation from the spacesuits of today, while also clearly being progenitors to the spacesuits that we see in later Star Trek. I think this is such a cool costume. It's copper, but it's got like the silver kind of pieces, the big kind of bulky pipes that keep everybody breathing. This is just a super cool costume, and a lot of my, at least a couple of my picks have been examples of as the years went on, they slowly, the costumes got better and better and better, and this is the pinnacle of the spacesuit design for Star Trek, as far as I'm concerned.
My favorite thing about that design is how it just looks so good on film. It's so photogenic, and it just adds so much layer and texture to scenes. The cords coming out of the back that come out at inappropriate times. Probably not the best design for the elite suits, where they're like trying to stick
probably fix those. Yeah,
but from a narrative perspective,
fantastic,
so dramatic,
and it fits right in with the silver metallic interiors of the Enterprise sets too.
Yes,
so it's a great look.
I love it. We have 2 EV suits in a row. That's incredible. All right, let's close out round 2 with my number 2 pick. 5 words and a hashtag. As iconic as the makeup, hashtag pleats and shouting. And it is Star Trek Beyond. It is Jayla's outfit. Jayla's costume. I love this costume. I think it was Sonia Hayes. I think she did an amazing job with it. It adds to the whole character. It's functional. It's practical. The whole aesthetic is just fantastic, and I really wanted to use the hashtag pleats and shouting because I knew Drosin would love that.
Love it.
Jayla.
Jayla's tremendous.
Yes.
Jayla is a great part of the Star Trek universe, and maybe we'll never see her again, but she was great.
Hopefully someday.
We had our first Kelvin Timeline novels announced at this
That's
year.
True. Jayla shows up.
Jayla novel.
Jayla shows up in some comics, right?
Correct.
Comics.
Yeah, but I think she showed up in the Starfleet Academy miniseries.
That's right.
And she got a flashback tale in the Boldly Go comic series 2 years ago.
That's right.
We still don't know what her species is.
Nope. No
still
idea.
Don't know her species. Shout out to Sophia Boutella. She's amazing. All right, let's go to round 1.
Oh my God, I'm nervous.
Let's do this. Claire, what's your number 1?
All right.
Are you dancing in your chair right now?
Yeah, I'm excited. My 5 words are motion capture dots as fashion.
Whoa.
Hashtag Folsom Space Fair. We're talking about the Docide.
Rules of acquisition.
Brian Thompson's second appearance on this episode.
Yes, and second rules of acquisition pick.
That's right.
Amazing.
These are quite possibly the ugliest costumes in the history of Star Trek, and I love them. I don't know why they work. They shouldn't. They probably don't. Everyone listening is like, no, Claire, they don't work. But they work for me.
They're
And
spectacular.
They only work because the actors were like these big hulking people, and they were so serious.
And that's what's so awesome.
Yeah.
No, like, I have to wonder, I'm sure, as professional actors, they're used to getting put in all kinds of crazy stuff. But they have to have been like, are you serious? This is what I look like while I'm going to be on camera? They're amazing. Look them up if you need to. It's just the wackiest red face paint.
And this could very well be the reason Brian Thompson was complaining about Star Trek's makeup.
Honestly, it probably was this, because everything else was a Klingon or a Hirogen, I think, or something cool and like intimidating. And then there's this insanity with like a little like head cap. And like a shiny silver Speedo diaper thing with furry arms and red paint on his face and dots and...
It looks so tight on the head.
They look like
they're like wearing rock climbing gear on their crotch.
It looks like the motion capture suits from the Marvel shows. If you ever see like behind the scenes footage of like Tom Holland not wearing his Spider-Man costume, that's basically what they're wearing, but with like straps and cutouts, and it's... I don't get it. It's
the
amazing.
Brian Thompson theme running through this episode.
Top 5 Brian Thompson.
Yay!
This is a deep cut. I'm trying to find a good picture to show you guys, but this is a deep cut that only real sickos, real film weirdos like Jordan and myself are. I think the Docide are a reference to the 1969 film by William Klein, Mr. Freedom.
Whoa.
Oh.
I'm trying to find a good picture, but it's like a really weird satire, and we'll post a...
2 major film nerds.
That one is even over my head. I don't know.
I'm trying to find a good picture, but we'll pass it around.
Right,
I'll show you Mr. Freedom.
Ken, what's your number 1 pick?
All right. My 5 words are blue shoulders mean bad news. Hashtag twist of the season. It's Prisoner Bashir showing up in the old Starfleet uniform in Purgatory Shadow.
That's a good twist. Good
Revealing
twist.
that the Bashir we've watched for 5 episodes, including doing brain surgery on Captain Sisko, was a changeling.
But only acted like a changeling in the episode in which it was
That's right,
revealed.
because they didn't tell the actor ahead of time.
No, because the changeling knew he would blow his cover. If he
Oh,
didn't
that must
perform
be it.
Perfect brain surgery.
But once we knew, man, those evil sandwiches were bad news.
Oh, that's a great pick. If you don't know about that, go look it up.
Sorry, spoiler alert
There's
for
like-
1997.
If you didn't connect it, there's about 5 episodes of DS9 where theoretically it was the changeling Bashir
right.
in place.
Who again only acts sneaky in the final episode,
Didn't
and
he
then he
also-
acts extremely sneaky.
Yes.
Didn't he also help with the birth of Kira in this episode?
Mhm.
Yes.
I think
Yep.
so.
Yes,
I
he
think
did.
so. It was crazy.
So he's all up in everybody's business.
Okay. All right. Adam, what is your number 1 pick?
Number one. Okay, this is a big one.
I'm nervous.
And it's a hashtag, or 5 words in a hashtag are similar to another one. So you'll see it's similar variations on a theme. You see my taste. You're seeing what I understand, what I like. 5 words in a hashtag. Silver LeMay can't stay away. Hashtag the original Vulcan thought. From Amok Time, it's to Pring.
All my secondary systems to Pring.
Yeah.
Wow.
We do have a D'Pring on campus this
Yes,
week.
there
Yeah.
has been a T'Pring walking around.
Just what's left to say that hasn't been
Incredible.
said. Like,
Incredible.
she shows up and you're just like, oh, you're her. Like, you're everything that, that needs to be here. It's such, and even like in the presence of T'Pau, it's like, you're like, it's like you're putting the queen to shame with like your extravagance. It's truly a moment to be savored and dissected for years to come. Just the haughtiness with she wears that costume.
There's so many different angles on it too, the
Yeah.
layers, the way they connect.
the structuring, like the hair, everything about it.
I just gotta interrupt,
Master
Drosin. I have never heard a full-bore nerdgasm like I just heard right now. It just melted before our eyes, just thinking about T'Pring. It was a thing of beauty.
The highest compliments coming from you. Thank you so much. It's a
Spectacular.
masterpiece of a costume, and I can only speak effusively.
Spectacular pick. All right, Jordan, what's your number 1
All
pick?
right. Well, I mean, I did have the Naked Time shower curtains, so they're not all, male gaze, dirty old man picks. But we're back to my original.
So this one is.
This one is, and last night we were here kind of goofing around, and I was talking about that time that I was trying to talk about this costume once on a podcast with Denise Crosby and Terry Farrell, and they started getting really lewd about it. So the 5 words are same exact colors as Sully from Monsters Inc.
Not Sully.
Not that Sully.
Silver Navy.
Hold up.
Sully from Monsters Inc. Same exact colors as Sully. Hashtag Dromedary Digitipedis.
God.
Dromedary Digitipedis is Greek and or Latin for camel toe. I'm talking about Ishara Yar in the very tight and very beautiful onesie that bears it all, and that's season 1. Season 1.
No.
Season 4.
Episode Legacy.
Okay,
It's
so
actually the
I just
episode, by
watched
the way,
this. This is an amazing
that put
What a
TNG
pick.
above TOS in terms of.
oh, that was the episode where they
Yeah.
zoomed past?
Yeah.
They zoom past him.
Okay, so how old was I when I saw that?
Ishara.
I was
Yar.
old enough to know.
Truly a milestone.
It doesn't matter.
She's stunning.
She's beautiful. It's a good
Beth
character.
Toussaint.
Beth
Beth
Toussaint,
Toussaint
and
is
the hair.
but
Yeah.
it's a little bit much. I mean, like, listen, there's no shame in the future, and there's no modesty. There's a lot of just the body is cool, and that's great, and we aspire to that. But there's tight, and then there's tight, and then what she's wearing is out of control. So hats off.
That
And
uniform was one with the body.
It's a great pick,
We salute you,
and It was with Denise Crosby and Terry Farrell, but they got very lewd on the cruise.
Yeah, no, like they knew exactly what I was talking about. I didn't use any lewd
I remember
phrases,
that because that was
yeah.
one of your podcasts.
Yeah, they were...
Engage, the official Star Trek podcast.
That was the original series Star Trek official podcast.
Yes.
The one that started it all.
All right, that's fantastic. Alex, what's your number one pick?
I'm going right to the living, beating, thumping heart of Star Trek itself.
The throbbing heart.
5 words summary, Star Trek in living color, hashtag Starfleet is not military. I'm picking the TOS Starfleet uniform.
Wow.
And my episode pick is the Man Trap.
Yes.
You see the full original kind of color scheme, the gold, the red, the blue, everything about it. It's not, you could... Science fiction shows at the time that showed some kind of space military would use some kind of twist on current kind of US military uniforms or British uniforms. No military on Earth has anything like the Starfleet uniforms.
Because they're pajamas.
Because they're pajamas. It's a total departure, but it's fabulous because it's not a military organization. So they go with this uniform that is at once very futuristic, but also tells you something about the organization that you're watching, and it's just so well done. It's so iconic. It just buries itself throughout the whole kind of history and aesthetic of this entire franchise. There was no way it was not going to be my number one.
Very good. They sowed where no man had sown before.
Exactly.
And, you can't overestimate, like, we're here at the Star Trek Convention. We're here because we love the characters, we love the story, we love the technology. But film and television is a visual medium, and it's about what's blasting in your eyes. And the bright colors of TOS is foundational to the success of this franchise. I mean, it may sound basic, but it's true,
Mr. Perry, our uniform-wearing cosplayer here, what's your favorite of the redesigns of the classic uniform? Star Trek 09, Star Trek Beyond, or Star Trek Discovery?
Star Trek Beyond is my favorite of the 3.
Oh, that's
thumbs up all around.
It's Hugh's closest. It's the most it's the most minimalistic update of the original uniform that looks both very modern, but also like there are fan films now because you have to use the licensed costumes, so they all use the Anubis Beyond costumes because those are the only ones that are in stock, and they're on the TOS sets. And they look fabulous, and they fit right in. It's just it's a really, really great version of the costume.
I gotta doff my hat to you. I feel like I can confident in saying this. I'm in the presence of some real sickos who can pull out some deep minutia about this franchise, and it's like we're ranking. What's your favorite pizza? And you just said cheese. Yes. And everyone is like, yeah, goddamn, you're right. That's what just happened.
Yep. All right. I wish we were closing on that, but we'll close on my pick. My number one choice, 5 words and a hashtag. Grateful for Famke's beautiful introduction. Hashtag iridescent chiffon. It's Kamala's main dress from The Perfect Mate. And it's the first dress she wears. It's like this weird color. It's like
I hate to say tan because that doesn't do it justice.
It's like a blue-brown tan.
Yeah.
They called it iridescent chiffon, and I was looking it
got
up.
Gold accents to it.
It's got a little bit of gold.
It's very similar to Keiko's wedding dress.
It doesn't
the
pop
fabric.
off the screen, but the way she wears it is amazing because it's like it covers her, but it's super form-fitting, and there's angles where it's like transparent in certain areas too, but it's also, I don't know, it's just amazing. I love it. I knew you would love it.
It's great.
I love Famke.
She could wear a garbage bag and make it look like
it's literally like her first acting job. And shout out to her white wedding dress too, because that was amazing at the end there. But I just love that dress. It looks, when you first look at it, it almost looks kind of plain. The color, but the layers and it's super cool. It's great costume, Bob Blackman.
Very
Love
nice.
it. The Perfect Mate. Okay, let's do some secondary systems picks. Anybody have any, Claire?
If we could choose 6 picks, I would have included the original series EV suits that you see in the Tholian Web.
Excellent.
I love them. They're like a perfect blend of the Silver Mercury suits, and then they've got the metallic ports and stuff of the Apollo suits. So they're kind of like referencing real life at the time, but they're also really futuristic looking. I think they've aged really well visually. They don't look hokey to me. They look interesting. The colors work.
They
I
also
love
have
them.
a lot of head. Like you could wear a hat.
The amount of headspace is kind of funky.
Keep room for those beehive hairs.
The helmets
Put some ceiling space in there.
kind of weird,
The
but
helmets
they're
are
great.
weird,
Yeah.
24th century athletic wear.
Oh,
Yay!
yes. That's a fantastic
And
thing.
Bojitsu outfits.
Well, somebody was wearing a Parisi Squares outfit, and that was fantastic.
Mock Barrage. Well, this leads into one of
Taylor's
mine, which
outfit.
I knew you would get a kick out of. I love when Voyager would start to flex and Extreme Risk B'Elanna's jumpsuit.
Used from Generations.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Reused from Captain Kirk's skydiving
That's
in the
so-
beginning of Generations.
that's
That
cool.
scene.
Yeah.
I also love the flight suits from Drive.
Yes, that was on my list as well. I love them.
Yes. Someone will always cosplay that and I'll always be like, oh, hell yeah.
I don't understand the purpose of those suits, though. If you look at them, there's no extra pockets. There's nothing that's like utilitarian about them. That
They're
would
drive
mean
suits, Claire.
you should wear these instead of the regular
There's
ones.
lots of extra like Velcro
But they're
stamps.
gorgeous. They're wonderful.
I know Jim will appreciate it. It's like when an NFL team will just be like, we're neon this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, you are.
That's exactly what it is.
Quick rapid fire here. I've talked about it before on this show. A lot of Troyes is a drag queen, and she's like
amazing.
She has like 4 outfits, and they're all iconic. The Borg Queen is an icon, and I would give my life for her. And one more is Code of Honor, Urena.
Oh, yeah. That pink.
That's actually a really good costume.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Iridescent silver pink.
Yeah,
That's
that's
lovely.
Ken?
All right, I got a quick lightning round myself. I've got Kern's Bajoran uniform from Sons of Mo.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You filled that out.
I've got O'Brien's kayaking wetsuit, that nice 1989 dentist office wallpaper look.
24th century
That's right.
action wear.
I've got Councilor Troy's Durango holodeck outfit.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's up Drosin's alley.
Can we also talk about her the nightgown that she has? That's
You
like
can talk about that. I don't think it's appropriate. For us.
Okay.
I've got DePaul's leather jacket from Carpenter Street.
I love that.
Wow.
You totally rocked that. I tweeted that before.
That's right. I've got Tuvix's transporter uniform, where it's Neelix's styling over Starfleet colors.
That's great. I take it back. It wasn't from Carpenter Street. I tweeted the leather jacket that from Carbon Creek that the Vulcans were wearing.
That's to Mel.
Saying I would totally wear that. Yes,
that's right. 2 more. One is Wesley Crusher's foil wrapped baked potato ski suit from season 1 of TNG, with him and his little buddy going into the holodeck, and Captain Picard with snowballs.
Yep.
You lost me on that one.
And that funky weirdo headband situation. And then finally, this is why you have me here for this kind of deep cut. It's from Sarek. We have one officer. This is during the transition from the season 2 uniforms of Next Generation to the high collar season 3, wearing one of the partially converted old uniforms.
Ooh.
It has the high collar, but it still has that middle shoulder stripe from the season 2, season 1
So
look.
it's a mistake.
It's like they didn't get it changed over in time, but they had to get her on set.
There's one Starfleet officer wearing that.
That's
in
correct.
episode
It's
Sarah.
one of the musicians.
Look for that. Okay, that is fantastic.
Welcome.
I'll just do 3 as a lightning round. And the first one, it's kind of a big pick, but it is pretty great, and that's Khan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Khan,
He's on my
Wrath of
secondary
Khan,
system. Yep.
You know, because he just used the junk that was laying around the Botany Bay, and he made his life out of that. You know, so that's very nice. The other one is Counselor Troy's kind of teal turquoise dress. Does that have a name? Is it
the one with the asymmetrical collar?
The asymmetrical collar that
great.
accentuates her bust line. It's a very lovely outfit. It's not her purple outfit; it's her teal one. I like that one. And then weird one, not very futuristic at all. Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Chekhov wearing like a green leather jacket.
Yes.
He's like looking kind of cool when he's like, you know, taken prisoner and he's running away. And
that's right. Somewhere from along the line, he dumped that weirdo Bo Peep collar from Star Trek 3. Just ripped it off when they were running out of space.
Yes, the ghost of King Edward.
He was kind of like a cool dude, you know. Walter Koenig, you know, handsome fella in 1987 or whenever that movie was made, 86.
I will have to stun you.
That's a good deep cut, nuclear whistles. All right, just before I rattle off a few.
I have one more I just want to shout out to actually what really is my favorite Star Trek costume, but it wasn't good enough to include in this, and it is if you watch Peak Performance...
Oh, that's not what I think.
Oh, what did you think I was going to say?
Oh, I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay, well, if you watch Peak Performance, at the end, when Data is getting his second chance to play Stratagema... There's a guy in the background cheering Data on, who I think must have walked in off... Like, maybe he was doing a set visit or something, and he walked in and made it onto the screen. He's wearing a gray cable knit sweater with a cable knit pattern of a Renaissance map with all the different lines and scroll work and the here be dragons and whatever. Whoa. And he's behind Data and he claps him on the shoulder and he's like, yeah.
That's
what
the perfect description.
What the hell is this guy wearing?
I can't wait to visit TrekCore.com and find.
Yeah, you don't need to. I have all the relevant screenshots on my phone.
Claire will cosplay that.
This is the level of preparation for your next visit.
All right, good. All right, do you have one more?
Well, I was going to say, I don't know how our friend Claire didn't mention the fake Starfleet uniforms from Live Fast and Prosper.
I'll tell you why. It's because I've already mentioned them on TrekRanks.
Yeah, she's already
the giant combat jets.
Yeah, and the pips.
Right.
They're the size of Smarties.
That's correct.
All right, before I rattle off a few more, does our studio audience have any uniform picks? Come on, any cosplay picks? Costume picks.
I'll give you one from the cheap seats.
That's Jimmy McGregor.
Active wear. Bashir's racquetball.
Yes. Springball.
Bashir's springball outfit. Very subtle to put the difference between him and O'Brien, right?
He was just wearing his big old T-shirt.
I like from Cupid, Worf's Merry Man. And you've got two Australians here in the audience, so we love a shout out to Sydney Opera House on the head of.
Yes. I like that that costume so much more than her Kai costume. When she becomes Kai, she wears basically a fast food restaurant hat except it's made out of cloth.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Welcome to Good Burger situation.
Yes, exactly.
The Sydney Opera House Vedic Win hat. That is fantastic. Okay, I have a few more.
Can I jump in
Josh,
with one?
go Josh.
Adam will appreciate this. I was thinking one of the things that came to my mind was Janeway's work outfit in Workforce.
Oh yeah.
That blue leather.
Everybody looks good in Workforce.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Epic ass.
7 looks great in Workforce.
Yes, she does.
Especially the emergency command hologram.
That's amazing. All right, so a few that didn't get mentioned. I was going to say Cardassian uniforms. Love those.
With or without the helmets.
I will also mention, I mentioned Taste of Armageddon before. Those are iconic with the kind of shoe hats on everyone's heads. Admiral Sati from the Drumhead. Amazing, beautiful costume.
I brought down bigger men than you, Picard.
He's got that whole George O'Keefe neckline thing going on.
Yeah, it is very George. That was a good way to put it. I was thinking, how can I describe her neckline without being vulgar? And Georgia O'Keefe is out.
No one mentioned Guinan, so we'll just give Guinan a shout out.
Trash can Guinan nachos.
I was going to give my
Guy Fieri, do it now.
I was going to give my special shout out to EV suits, but we had a good representation of EV suits.
Mako's had very good EV suits. The Mako's had good EV suits.
Plus the first contact uniform. There's a ton. There's so many good ones.
You know who we didn't mention similar to that? I mean, because it's kind of like an alien, but it is a suit. Is the Breen.
Oh, yeah.
That's Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi is what the Breen are.
Never turn your back.
All right, so I'll get my last one. A special shout out to Spock's 2009 jacket with the high collar and the folding.
Oh yes, we're talking Nimoy Spock in Trek 09.
Yes, we are. I love that.
I would also like to shout out then to Spock's cape and Mandarin collared uniform in the motion picture.
Yes.
People crap on those motion picture
No.
uniforms, but here's the deal: Spock looks amazing in that movie.
There's a painting of that, and that woman who's here who does the paintings anymore. She has one of that.
His cape with the Vulcan script on it.
Yeah,
it's
with
beautiful.
the script.
We can literally just top 5 Spock uniforms
easily.
All right, that was chaotic, amazing. Let's go to our regeneration cycle.
Computer, activate regeneration cycle. Alcoves beta and gamma.
All right, regeneration cycle. We are going to recap our picks. There's a lot of them. There's 30. It's the most in TrekRanks history. Claire, what are your top 5 picks?
All right, number 5, the weird mustardy corset things in Time and Again, Voyager. Number 4, the Zendi Reptilian / Nemesis Riemann costumes.
Hey, what episode did you pick for that?
I didn't.
Okay.
Countdown.
None. Okay.
It's now countdown.
Sure. Thank you. Number 3, the men's costumes in Angel 1. Like, ones they wore on the planet.
Love it.
Number 2 is Keiko's wedding dress from Data's Day. And number 1 are the Dosai costumes from Rules of Acquisition.
Brilliant. Your summary is 2 from Deep Space Nine, 1 each from Voyager, Enterprise, and TNG. You had 4 Bob Blackman picks and 1 William Ware Theiss. Ken Reilly.
All right, my number 5 pick is young Timothy's Data-esque sweater from Hero Worship.
Amazing.
Number 4 is Admiral Todman's gold uniform from the Dies Cast. Number 3 is Dead Geordie's little crotch hanky from Parallel. Number 2 is Pel's male Ferengi ear covers from Rules of Acquisition. And number 1 is our POW boy Bashir in his old blue shoulder uniform from Invertory Shadow.
So you had 2 from TNG, 3 from Deep Space Nine, and they were all Bob Blackman specials, including the crotch hanky. Okay, Adam, your top 5.
That might have just been craft services.
This is the part of every Trek Ranks where I turn into Mr. Movie Phone.
Yes.
Number 5.
Number 5.
From the episode Unification in TNG, it's Perrin. From number 4, it's Voyager with Admiral Janeway's pajamas from Endgame. Number 3, it is 7 of 9 Silver catsuit from The Gift. Number 2, it is Jamie Finney's little sailor dress from the TOS episode Court Martial. And number 1 is the iconic Queen Silver LeMay T'Pring from the episode Amok Time in Star Trek, the original series.
Fantastic. 1 from TNG, 2 each from Voyager and the original series. You had 3 Bob Blackmans and 2 William Ware Theiss. Jordan, your top 5.
My number 5 were the 2 waitresses from the cocktail bar in Rigel 2 from the Shore Leave, TOS. Number 4, Andrea from What Are Little Girls Made Of, TOS. Number 3, the Romulan commander from the Enterprise incident in TOS Season 3. And number 2 was Spock's away mission shower curtain from The Naked Time. And number 1 from Next Generation, Ishara Yar. I forget the name of the episode. Legacy. That's my only non-TOS. I guess at the end of the day, I am a TOS man.
4 TOS, 1 TNG, which means 4 William Ware Theiss and 1 Bob Blackman. All right, Alex, your top 5.
Number 5, the Romulan uniform from Star Trek Nemesis. Number 4, Emperor Georgiou's costume from Star Trek Discovery, What's Past is Prologue. 3, Q's Judge robes from Star Trek The Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint. 2, the Enterprise spacesuits from the episode I picked was Enterprise Season 2, Episode 3, Minefield. And lastly, TOS Starfleet uniforms from the original series, and the episode is The Man Trap.
Love it. So you had 2 from TNG and 1 each from Discovery, Enterprise, and TOS.
Well-rounded.
You had 2 William Ware Theiss picks, 1 Bob Blackman, 1 Bob Ringwood from Nemesis, the film, and Gersha Phillips also represented. Fantastic. All right, my top 5 were the Bomar from the Raven Voyager. My number 4 pick, they're still on the screen. Number 4 pick, Andrea from What Are Little Girls Made Of, the original series. Number 3, Discovery, Burnham's white cape from Lethe. My number 2 pick was Jayla from Star Trek Beyond. And my number 1 pick was Kamala's main dress from The Perfect Maid TNG. So I had 1 each from TOS, TNG, Voyager, Discovery, and the Kelvin timeline. I don't think I've ever done that before. So that means I had 2 Bob Blackman picks, 1 William Ware Theiss, 1 Gersha Phillips, and 1 Sonia Hayes, which is pretty great. She was the costume designer for Insurrection. Everyone knows how much I love Insurrection. All right, so overall stats. Here we go. We had everybody represented. The Kelvin timeline had 1, Enterprise 2, and Discovery 2 as well. Voyager had 4 picks, Deep Space Nine 5, TOS 6, and TNG led the way with 10 overall picks. We had 1 duplicate. We had multiple EV suits. I love that. And for the costume designer picks, we had Sonia Hayes and Bob Ringwood with 1, Gersha Phillips 2, William Werethees had 10 picks, and of course Bob Blackman, who was costume designer on the vast majority of Trek for 16 years, 16 overall selections. So those are our stats. We love the stats.
Yeah.
We love running through them. All right, that is going to wind us up. Let's move on to our temporal causality loop.
The Enterprise has been caught up in a temporal causality loop, and I suspect that something similar may have happened to you.
For this week's temporal causality loop, we got a great voicemail from John Fuchsius online. He's sent us a bunch of great picks over the years for the temporal causality loop, so he finally left us a voicemail for our top 5 road trips. We're going to play that for you now because it is an awesome, awesome list.
Hey everyone, this is John Fuchsius. You can find me on Twitter at John Fuchsius Online. These are my picks for TrekRanks episode 58, top 5 road trips. Coming in at number 5 on my list, 5 words, it's been a long road, hashtag Vulcans, Gascana, and hibernating flocks. It's the NX-01 Slog to Risa from Season 1 of Enterprise. Coming in at number 4, Discovery is no longer Lorca's, hashtag Find Prime Lorca. It's Chapter 2 of Star Trek Discovery Season 1, from Despite Yourself through What's Past is Prologue. Number 3, 2 guys in a shuttle, hashtag Illusions Jim. It's Mendez and Kirk's bogus journey from The Menagerie Part 1 from the original series. And number 2, I have Captain. We're receiving 285,000 hails, hashtag Champion Standing. It's Worf's trip through the multiverse from The Next Generation's Parallels in Season 7. And number 1, my top road trip from Star Trek. 5 words, Malinche, Badlands, Eddington, oh my. Hashtag Scary Cisco. It's For the Uniform from Deep Space Nine, Season 5. And I just have 1 secondary system pick. 5 words are 2 out of 3, ain't bad. Hashtag Fair Blood Unity. It's the Necrit Expanse arc from Voyager Season 3. Thank you so much for listening. Live long and prosper.
All right, great way to close us out. So as always, this is more than enough to get us out of this week's temporal causality loop here, live in Vegas. So keep those lists coming to me at TrekRanks or at Enterprise Extra. You can leave us a voicemail at 609-512-5527. That's 609-512-LLAP. Leave us a voicemail just like John did. Top 5 costumes, and you too can be on TrekRanks if you want. All right, let's close this out because this is chaos. It's too much. Normally,
what's the next Trek Ranks?
We would normally tease the episode, but we're not going to do that today. We're just gonna get at it.
Leaving everybody in suspense.
It's probably going to be. We think it's going to be DS9 underrated, but I got to.
So you're going to do the Pets one, and then you're going to air this one?
Yeah, Pets already aired.
Oh, it did? You didn't tag me on it, I guess, or something.
No, it.
By the time this goes.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I figured that.
It's in the past or the future.
It's like the
A leads to B leads to C leads to A.
The cycle of causality is complete.
Just kidding. How long have we been in this timeline?
It's a
past, future, division, past. I can do. You can do the voice.
3.
All right, so this is a huge thanks. It's chaos. It's out of control here. Huge thanks to Claire Little. Adam, what do you got?
I'm talking to everybody in this room right now and everyone listening to this podcast. If you want to see another Star Trek movie, everyone has to next weekend go see Dora and the Lost City of Gold, brought to you by Paramount Pictures. And I'm not talking AMC Stubbs A-list. I'm not talking bargain matinee. I'm talking full ticket price. And I don't care if you're listening to this months after the fact. You go on Redbox, Netflix, you rent that movie. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's Adam Knudsen. Just my name.
All right, everybody go see Dora the Explorer. Adam Drosin. Thanks to him, Claire Little, Ken Reilly, Alexander Perry, Jordan Hoffman, our studio audience, everybody here. We're not running through here. You can find them on Twitter. All right, thanks again for engaging with us here on episode 63 of the TrekRanks podcast. As always, I want to close by saying I'm looking forward to standing with you again here in this place where I belong. Holy shit.
And here ends the last episode of TrekRanks.